Hello and welcome to another Sam's Lunch Break special of this Holy Management Triumvirate game. In this one, I'm going to do a bit of a Maidstone overview, and then we'll play a Maidstone game, and I'll try and keep it short and sharp, like Maidstone's rise to the Premier League. Haha. So yeah, this is manager Steve Hamburger. As you may know, well, as the people who actually will watch this know, that is my dad. So yeah, he took over, and it's been a fairly meteoric rise. The first few seasons were, I would say, authentically enhanced because I was just enjoying myself, and then I realised that there's no real earning in that, and so yeah, the last few seasons have been more financially authentic, less creative accounting, let's say, like that. So yeah, this is Maidstone manager Steve Hamburger. He's now 63 years old in 2022. He's got often responds assertively, but can be calm. See, I try and shape my managers to be different. So Sam Hamburger is always assertive. Tommy Rodrin's always passionate. Steve Hamburger, I try to always be calm, but sometimes I forget and accidentally click assertive. But yeah, he plays in a similar style to Sam Hamburger and Sam Hamburger's Charlton team, as they obviously have become the template for all successful sides. But yeah, we were finding out whether this would work at a lower level, and it very much does. But yeah, now in the Premier League with less quality players, it's interesting to see exactly how it goes. Right, so I thought I'd dig into the squad a little bit. So I've picked up some of these guys specifically for the Premier League. So this Stefan Ruffier, good goalie. He's conceded an absolute ton. Yeah, so I picked him up on a free. He did pretty well last season, and this season not so well, but he's still really good. I've got Reece Ryder as a backup. He's very good at goalkeeping, but also insane. So I'm not really sure how that affects it. When Stefan Ruffier earlier in the season had a little bit of he was homesick, so I just let him go. It doesn't tell you specifically. Yeah, he just went to France, and so Reece Ryder played a few games, played quite well. There's a young prospect that I've just brought in, Lucas Novak. He's also quite good. Hasn't played yet, but I'm hoping that I can help him fulfill his potential because he's potentially a pretty useful player. So yeah, those are the goalies. We're playing this 3 at the back system. There tend to be not many, not many defenders. So we've got Henrique. Oh, I've done this without having a drink to hand again. Again, you idiot, Sam. So he's on loan from Charlton. Basically, he's a Charlton homegrown product, but he was just knocking about, not really getting many games and getting a bit unhappy. So Maidstone's defence were looking absolutely appalling. So I brought him in. He's obviously fairly solid, really good defensive stats, both footed, not exactly creative or technical, but you know what? He's a solid, beefy lad, and he's actually been playing pretty well. Last season he went on loan to Sampdoria, and I think they got to the Europa Cup final or something, and he had an absolutely amazing season. So I thought, yeah, he did pretty well for good old Maidstone. As you can see, the average ratings of my defence are fairly poor. So you've also got Jose Maria Jimenez. He, on paper, is an absolute beast. He is, I mean, look at those mental stats, just consistently above 15. Got brilliant defensive stats. You'd think, he's one of my best played players, absolutely out and out. I thought he was so unhappy at Atletico that I kind of thought, I have to get him. So I was really, really driven. Put in, as soon as there was a whiff that he might be available, I went nuts, went all out, all out to try and get a hold of him, and he's been terrible. It's been terrible. Genuinely, his form at the start of the season, I don't know if it'll go that far back. I mean, he's had a few good games now, and other than that, solid. But it doesn't go so far back. But yeah, he was very bad, and this contributed to the team conceding very many goals. Another centre back brought in for that purpose was Wilfredo Gonzalez. Apparently, I heavily favour the Hispanic among defensive-minded players. But yeah, as you can see here, again, I mean, he's no passing genius, but defensively, he should be solid. I thought I'd done myself a real favour nicking him off Ajax, but yeah, he's been fairly awful as well. Inconsistent. Maidstone just don't have that calibre of players. Another appalling signing in the defence was Filippo Romagna, who I had at Charlton. I really liked him. I never really played for the club. There you go. He had two appearances, and he went on loan. He went on loan anyway. He went on loan to Swindon. There we go. Went to the MLS. Played a lot of games. I should have seen from his record that he never really did that well. And consequently, I sold him for very little money. But I always really liked him because he was a big centre back with a lot of pace. And I just thought, a lot of pace, a lot of anticipation, good tackling, good positioning. Surely that makes a good centre back. And he's, there's not that many centre backs with a lot of pace. But regardless, he's been a complete miserable failure. I've commented about his poor form many times. He's just really average, and then he just has one completely wobbly game. The form chart isn't going back far enough to evidence this. But yeah, so really the defence has been completely shaky. I started playing Lukman Ibrahim more. He's 18 when I bought him. He's a real lovely prospect, real solid physically, decent mental highlights there, anticipation, bit of positioning, good passing, basically quite a well-rounded player, really. And he's played pretty well actually, and scored some goals, oddly enough. But yeah, now he's injured, for God's sake. Who else is there actually? George Fowler. Oh, he's one of my absolute legends of Maidstone. Picked him up for a pinch at 235k, and he's played a ton of games. He's finally got to the Premier League level, and he's another one who's not covered himself in glory at times, but he's pretty solid. We've got Vincent. I always call him Mango Mazulu, just because it's so close. But yeah, 6'6", 19 on strength, absolute beast in the air. I got him last season, and he had a really mixed season. I thought he was going to be quality. There's a lot, and again, it's that inconsistency. Doesn't enjoy big matches. The mentality just isn't there at this level. But yeah, I've also got Dominic Iorfa. I know you shouldn't say that with that inflection because he's actually from Wolverhampton. But yeah, he's pretty solid, 6'5", real strong, real quick as well. And he played a pivotal role last season, and from pivotal to pitiful. And yeah, he's just not done well. So there's been a lot of them just really not done well at centre back. And my current preferred lineup would be Joao Henrique, Jimenez, and then Ibrahim on the left. Right, moving on to the midfield. I'm just ignoring Luis Alberto up there as my top-rated player because he's only played 3 games. He threw a bit of a wobbly because Barcelona and Real were interested in him. I think the transfer interest has calmed down a bit. It's just Zenit now, so who wants to go to Russia, really? He's got a lot of potential. I brought him in as a player with plenty of potential, but he's not really got any games because he's a bit annoying. But he could be good. But he's just there at the minute. John Restrepo, amazing player. What a well-rounded central midfield player. I wonder what club could have bought him through their ranks. Oh, it was Charlton. So I got to the stage where I was having a bit of a Charlton clear out, and I was deeply upset with some of the sales figures. So basically, I made an executive decision that father and son wouldn't let that connection go unexploited, and basically, if I couldn't get 20 or 30 million, like so for instance John Restrepo, there were plenty of parties interested, couldn't get 20 or 30 million, I gave him to Maidstone, and he was more than happy to go. He's now my vice captain and one of my best players. Similar with Icaro, he's actually really come on. So it looks like I was just giving Maidstone amazing players, but this season has made him amazing. He's really had to. This is the season where he's got most appearances. He's played really well. Obviously, you can see he's a technical beast, and it's about actually translating that into play where he's struggled previously, but he's doing really well now. Ronnie Salazar, I don't know what I'm going to do with him. He had loads of potential, but yeah, he's just there now. Ian Westerhoff, an out-and-out winger. He was a wonder kid at one point. I wonder if he still is. Yeah. I brought him in from Ghent. Played well last season. But it's just that they played really well in the Championship. Obviously, he's lightning quick, great output with the crossing, good dribbling, good passing, but they're not quite cutting it in the Premier League. Yuri Tielemans, I really wanted him as well. He's former Charlton. Paris Saint-Germain picked him up. This is what Paris Saint-Germain do. They pick him up for loads of money and then get really grumpy. So, yeah, he wasn't really playing as much as he was like. So the player got grumpy, the club got grumpy, and I got him for 12 mil, which I thought was an absolute pinch. He is injury prone, and I do know that from his time with Charlton. But he has had a real good season, as you can see. He's mentally amazing, amazing natural fitness despite being injury prone. Makes loads of sense. Really creative. Love the guy. He's a great player. I've got Raja Nainggolan. I picked him up on a free from Roma. He's my captain. I thought he was going to be really good, and he's actually just started declining now, slowly but surely. He's a little bit less quick than he was. But he's still obviously amazing for Maidstone. Another centre defensive midfielder in there is Viljevac. He's a prospect that I picked up last season. Did really well. I picked him up in January last season. He did really well. I spent a lot of money on him as well. And he's going to be good. Oh, Antoine Lewis, he's out of contract at the end of the season. He'll be off. Miljan Krka. So I've picked him up this season, 4 million. I think he's a real prospect. He will be the next Nainggolan. Is a wonder kid. Uses his physicality, good tackling, work rate, that sort of thing for a defensive midfielder. All good with him. Magro, he might get there. He might not. We'll see how this one goes. Terrible work rate, but obviously a lovely technical player. Doesn't really get many games, so I might loan him out next season. Dorin Rotario is another former Charlton player. I really liked him, but he never quite made the impact, and he's been never quite making the impact ever since, which I should have picked up as a bit of a sign. He came in for me, and his first few games were absolutely appalling. Absolutely appalling. He's picked up since then, but he's in a bit of a downward spiral, which is not very good for my team, obviously. So another young gun. I think he was a wonder kid, but picked him up for 1.6 million off relegated Villa as I was getting promoted to the Championship. So yeah, I was really happy with that. Absurdly happy with it. Played well. He's got plenty of potential. He could get there really quick. Good passing, and so he'll be all right. Someone we picked up, Carlos Pereira. They told me he had a lot of potential. He does have a lot of potential. He could be a leading Premier League player. He can't pass for toffee, but he's quite well rounded. Can't pass but has good vision. So he sees it but can't meet it. Whatever. Right, who else have we got? Oh yeah, Alex Sarabia. Brought him in last season. I was dying for a right winger, and I picked him up, and I paid. It was all the knock-on payments. So I paid about 5 million for him, but with all these knock-on payments that he's since gone and absolutely busted because he'd had an amazing season, played loads of games. And he's been our super sub really. 18 substitute appearances. Tells its own story. So he's pretty unhappy, but he can't budge T Elements from that spot. Ayub Abu, we've got him on a free from Barcelona. He's a good player, inconsistent, highly creative, highly technical, doesn't quite deliver. As with so many of my players, they look amazing and they don't quite deliver. We've also got Pasoka, bought in. I thought he was going to be amazing. £7 million, was all right last season. Not really played this season. So yeah, there's a lot of my players who just haven't quite got there really. So yeah, that take you on. So yeah, that's my preferred 3 attacking midfielders. They're all really creative. They all should be amazing, but sometimes they just aren't. Sometimes they are. That's kind of the nature of the beast. So my strikers recently renovated. So Carlos Rua has been amazing for me all season. Doesn't enjoy big matches, but he's fairly consistent, athletic. Basically, he's just got that killer finishing, determination, good physicality, good off the ball. It's really pointy down there, and I like that. I know that sounded bad, but I like that. Can head, can shoot from long range. He came in last season, 5 million, a pinch at 5 million, and came in January and just was a beast. 20 appearances, 19 goals, and he's actually been a beast in the Premier League as well, and then got injured. So 18 appearances, 10 goals, and is just coming back from injury now. So he's played a bit rubbish in his last few games because he's been kind of went off the boil, got injured, and is coming back into it. Gonzalo Samper, I think, is my record signing. The thing is, I tried to sign with Charlton a few times and missed out because I wasn't quite committed to getting him. But I think I couldn't quite be bothered at this stage because he wasn't quite good enough. Then he became really good, and then got snapped up. And so basically I had to pay his release fee clause, and he started awfully, and then got 2 goals in the last game. So I'm like pretty happy with him. He has amazing technical stats, amazing finishing, really quick. So should be absolutely bossing it. Again, you see the point at which he pushes out his attacking stats. That's really good. That's what I like to see. And I will. Oh God, I've got to round this off soon. Otherwise, this video will be so long. Edu, I love this guy. Again, had a close look at him for Charlton, and they said they didn't rate his progression. But to be honest, having watched his progression, I enjoyed it. So I picked him up for how much money? 5.25 million. So not too bad at all. Had a great season at Panathinaikos. Never really played other than at Panathinaikos, and he's done quite well for me. 7 goals in 18. They rate him. He's got a bit more to go. Really good in the air. Consistent. Professional. This is the kind of mental stats we need rather than inconsistent, doesn't like big games, is a wuss, that sort of thing. So obviously he's really technically good. Finishing as sharp as attack, actually can pass the football, can run as well. So yeah, he's a really good player. No arguments about that. I've also picked up, for a bit of experience, Romelu Lukaku. Hello. So he's coming in January and done really well. It's March now. He's done really well. Basically, there was one game in which we had one shot in the 89th minute. He had it and he scored it. We still lost 3-1, but I was like, that's what I want from Romelu Lukaku. I was gonna sign him for Charlton because he was being he was beasting the league every single year. But Bayern went big, 35 million. Then did the big team thing that PSG have done. Bayern did it. Didn't really play him. Lots of substitute appearances. 1 start and 14. I'm pointing with my finger. 1 start and 14 subs. Just not good. So yeah, 6 million quids. There we go. 5 starts, 3 goals. So no complaints really. He's got the right mentality. He's a bit of a, he's professional, is determined, and isn't a nutcase, and we like that really. Other strikers of note: Jose Manuel, Again, very technically and attackingly able. Brilliant off the ball movement, agile, fast. He's not featured that heavily this season, but I think he can be really good. Picked him up for 5 million. Yeah, I need to play him more. Nicholas Moore, he has been at the team for ages. He will have gone off the boil. Former Charlton. I signed him when I didn't really know who was going to be amazing players. I thought he was going to be an amazing player. He never was. He played brilliant in League One, and then just got slowly less and less effective. So this is the kind of mix that my team has. Decently, Gaglione, decent picked up players for the Premier League who haven't quite worked, or leftovers from League One. That's basically a choice in this Maidstone side. You've got Sergio Diaz. I think he's another, let's call it a gift from my son, Sam Hamburger. Did well last season, not done well this season. He's another one who's inconsistent, injury prone, doesn't enjoy big matches, is a big wuss, but he'll do fine in the Championship basically. Sandro Alberto is the last one to review here. I think I've just brought him in, 2.2 million. They said he's going to be rather good, and I trust them. Obviously, he's got that amazing crossing, which is what I picked him out for. But he's quite well rounded, got good physicality, and I'm hoping that I can bring him on more. So hence, I was going to say hence he's on the bench. No, he's not on the bench. He'll probably be on the bench next game. We're 16th in the Premier League. We've been hot and cold. Well, as you can see from our last 5-0 win against Derby. Oh, we always beat Derby, whereas Charlton struggle. Yeah, so it's just that we've scored a reasonable amount of goals. Considering the people around us, we've scored a lot of goals, but we've also conceded a hefty number of goals, which has led us to this position. We've been up to 9th and 10th. I mean, we're not far off there, but yeah, I think we really went off the boil recently, and there were a couple of absolute crushing losses there. Yeah, 94th minute. That one was early, and then we battered them for the rest of the game, and just nothing. That one, a penalty that wasn't a penalty. Oh, so just crushing. I nearly, did well against Liverpool, who are absolutely rampant. Did well against Arsenal. Oh, yeah, so a penalty in the 86th minute. Basically, it's not been another penalty. Literally, what the hell? So yeah, we're playing West Ham, who we'll just move it through because I've been talking for ages now, trying to keep these videos snappy. And yeah, that's not working. So sorry, guys. Good, they've got some players absent, including Luka Jovic, who I had at Charlton. He was terrible for ages. Didn't really do anything. Went out on loan. Didn't do anything then. I sold him for 30 million. Suddenly he's the best player in the world. So thanks for that, Luka. But you're injured anyway. So ha. I've also got Diego Remy. Sorry, there's so much interest. I've been in this game way too long. I had him. I just sold him on because he had no potential whatsoever. But now apparently he's worth some money. I still don't see it, but you'll see him. Oh, bloody hell. Scored 2 in 3 games, of course he has, with his 5 on finishing, because that makes sense. Right, let's. No, why would you? Oh, that's another former Charlton player, Felipe Margalo. He's developed quite well actually, physically and mentally specifically, but he doesn't quite have the other stats to put it together really. I've been half interested in him a couple of times. Diego Poye, former Charlton player. In real life, Tom Ince is a former Charlton player because I had him on loan once. I had Jack Grealish on loan, in fact, at Maidstone as well. I would show you all of these records, but I think we've probably spent too much time yakking away now, and we need to actually play the game. Right, I think that is me set up. Right, I don't think you're going to go out and dominate, but I don't want to tell you anything less. Let's show me what you can do. Right, only Ikara wants to show me what he can do, but I'll tell you what, if everyone else kind of vaguely says, yeah, okay, that's a smattering. I'll get the good ones to pick up the bad ones, so we should be alright. Right, I've not got sound on or anything. Good stuff. Right, and let's see how we go. It's able West Ham side, me on a terrible to mixed form at best. Right, brilliant there from Enrique. He's an absolute idiot. Right, so from this position, we've got so many people behind the ball. How can we then be broken down? Yes, good. And then we hit on the break, because that's what we do. We hit on the break with our fast, clinical players, our creative midfielders. Someone smashed the ball in. Oh, Rotario. Yeah, that was nearly actually decent. Go on, bro, get involved. Sampa. Ooh, that's not what I expect from 18 finishing. A gentle pass to Wes Fotheringham. Right, but that's first 10 minutes. We've apparently created 2 clear-cut chances. I wouldn't have said that. Ooh, Sampa's getting involved. I like that side of him. I've not seen that side of him so far. What we have seen is the side that passes it back to the goalkeeper. So that's irritating. I'm sure the next one will go in, he says, hopefully. Right, Raja Nainggolan gets his customary yellow card. I think that's why I've gone off him as well. He's got suspended about 3 times. Although maybe, it is the way I set up tactically. So I presume that Maidstone were mature enough to take on that hard tackling mentality in the correct way. And then that little reflection on our penalty giving away record and some of our suspension records, Wilfredo Gonzalez, has made me think that maybe I should think twice. Right, I'm not happy because they usually, they're on it. Right, I'm going to tell you. You need to calm it down, Kermit. Oh, it'd be great if I actually had like Kermit Erasmus. Could tell him to calm down. Right, so they've been sufficiently calmed down. Yuri Telemans is of course in awful condition because it's Yuri Telemans. No subs at the minute because no one's doing appallingly. They've had 1 shot on target. They'll only need 1 more to score a goal, I'm sure. And yeah, right. I don't know. Oh, this has been going for nearly half an hour now, which was not really my target. I was shooting for more for like 20-25 minutes. So that's this lunch break slot. I'm expanding out the lunch break slot mentality for these videos. I need to get it a bit more punchy. But I love my team intros. I feel like you need that level of depth. Right, we're getting, they're lapping it up at the back, really, aren't they? Yeah, just lapping it up. Let's see if we can do something more creative than punt it at their players, please. Anything? Restrepo, you're quite good. Icaro, you're quite good. Oh, no. Oh, yes. Yes. Did I say he'd get the next one? I think I said he'd get the next one. Yes. That's what 18 on finishing gets you. A goal in every 3 golden chances. He's pushed it around the keeper. Keeper's got no chance. Some clever play from Icaro there using his technical ability. And that is a goal. Right. Okay, 65 minutes is a key part of the game. I'm going to take off Nainggolan because he plays a key role in breaking up play, but he's knackered and he's going to get sent off probably. So let's bring on Viljak. I always say his name wrong. I should just change his name, really. I said once, I think, in a previous video that didn't make it to air that I was going to just call him Bob. Tielemans has taken a knock. I see it's because I said he hasn't been that injury prone this season. But we've got Sarabia on the bench, so that's like for like, really. I prefer Tielemans, but Sarabia is fairly awesome. Right, what else can we do? 75 minutes I see as another key substitute making time. Rotari is not playing that well. I feel like maybe I should take Gonzalez off, but we've got Iorfa on the bench. I think I'll just leave it. We'll probably pick up an injury in the next 3 minutes, so that will bear out my decision to not make any subs. Can we hold on? I'm going to take Wilfredo Gonzalez off because he's on a yellow. He's playing the worst out of our whole team, and he's a little bit tired. Oh, but Icaro. Oh, someone just kicked Icaro. I'm going to ignore that. He'll probably get better. Right. Although, bring in I wouldn't, in real life, I would not suggest bringing a defender on in the last like 10 minutes because they start so cold. He'll immediately get done by something. Come on, some chances. Oh, that was quite close. Hit the bar, so maybe giving more. You know, I feel like we deserve it a little bit more, having created a lot more chances and also hit the bar now. Ikaro, I'm hoping his condition will pick up a bit. He's recovering. Someone just kicked him really hard, and he's Brazilian. So, right. Oof. Can we close out these last 2 minutes for a vital win? I mean, really, 5 minutes now. That has got to be full time. You're kidding me? That's not full time. Hello, referee. Are you on the same planet as everyone else? Thank you. After an extra 90 seconds of torture. Right. So, for some reason, Negrete or he just can't think of anything to say. I want to tell them that we got away with that, but I think West Ham are actually quite good, so I'll tell them that they did well. Sampa, second game in a row, looking good. Right, that's good then. I think I might head off the video there because it's been over half an hour. So thank you very much for bearing with me. A good Maidstone win, if not an exciting Maidstone win. But yeah, thanks for listening. I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.